Welcome. This is our September 14th meeting before our annual April town meeting that we're hopefully finishing up tonight and tomorrow. We are going to just discuss a couple of matters that are being outstanding and need some action before we get to town meeting. The first is the civil service, the Article 27, and we had talked, thank you, Julian, previously, I think at our last meeting, about the fact that we know this is an article that is going to really, really engender a lot of passion and debate, and we want to make sure that we do that at a time when conditions are sort of most conducive to that. Obviously, right now it isn't. We're looking to have, certainly open conversation, rigorous debate on the articles tonight, but something that we know people really want to weigh in on. This isn't something that has to be done tomorrow, so we are looking to vote indefinite postponement so that we can address it at another point in time.
So moved.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, all those, I guess by roll call, English Braga, aye. Patterson?
Patterson, aye.
Jones?
Jones, aye. Brown, aye.
Okay. Taylor? Taylor, aye. Great, thank you. And Julie, what do we have?
We were going to talk about Article 24 as well.
Yes. So looking at
The municipal parking that we've considered indefinite postponement on that since we had no responses to our RFP on the two locations we were considering.
Okay. Any questions on that?
Well, do we want to keep it open? Yes. Giving us the authority. Indefinite postponement does that, doesn't it?
Well, Frank, you want to comment?
I looked at that today at the request of Julian. I think that you have to have a specific property in mind to have a valid vote, so I recommend that you do indefinite postponement and bring it back when you have something to present.
So moved.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor, English Braga, aye. Patterson?
Patterson, aye.
Jones?
Jones, aye.
Brown?
Brown, aye.
Taylor? Taylor, aye. Thank you. And also we need to talk about the change for Article 34 around the change of implementation date. And the recommendation by by Peter and by the folks at FLIRT would be to move it to 10/1/2021 as the implementation date.
Okay, we'll start with that. Thank you.
That's the NIP ban.
I was wondering, given the vehemence of opinion on that one, whether it really would make more sense to postpone that one also until we can have substantial debate on it. I just think there's going to be resistance to debating that one as fully as we probably need to do. And I'm just wondering if would it make sense to almost take the same stance we're taking with the police department and the civil service to say, tonight isn't the night to engage in a 2-hour debate. It's too big an issue to bring it up now and then just feel that we're rushed on that vote.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it is a timely one that needs to be done right away. I think whenever we can do it, if we can, it's the right time to do it, but I just think that tonight, given everything, is not the right time to have the electric debate.
Any other comment on
And
that?
I know they're not prepared for that recommendation.
Can you refresh my memory? I don't think we voted in favor of this, although we did put as printed.
Yes.
Weren't we like indecisive on this?
I don't think so.
It was 4-1. You were the only one against it.
Okay. I guess I was not decisive.
I think we had a lot of conversation back and forth about it, but we did ultimately vote it as printed.
Yes.
Back in, oh gosh, now obviously well before the spring, so I guess back in February or March,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
February maybe, so. Any comment on Doug's particular suggestion?
I agree with it.
Well, I know we're trying to shorten this town meeting up, but there are an awful lot of people that are behind this, and I sort of feel like we should leave it up to town meeting to decide.
I've seen more letters in opposition.
Oh, but that's a selective cohort.
Right.
That's not representative. That's not like you put out a referendum in
Okay.
May and people came in and voted on it.
Okay.
So that's not a representative cohort.
Well, I think it's fair to say that Doug Jones' point is accurate, that there's going to be a lot of debate about this issue from both sides. We've heard both from people who support it and from folks who have concerns about it. So I think what Doug's point is not about the value of the actual article, but about whether or not this is the time to engage in a 1 or 2 hour debate, given, you know, sort of the larger picture. I think that's what Doug is speaking to in particular, not whether or not as to what the ultimate vote of town meeting would be.
So our rationale then is indefinite postponement because of the time it's going to take to deliberate on this. Is that right?
That's my suggestion.
It's very similar to civil service.
I think it's what.
Exactly. As long as that's the justification for it, I have no problem. But, you know, it's a petitioner's article, and in this case, I believe it really does represent, likely to represent the majority of this community.
And I agree with you, I would like to see it passed, but
Personal, I'm saying I think this the majority of the community would vote in favor of this if you put it into a referendum on the May ballot.
And if this went to either the fall town meeting or the spring town meeting, I guess this is never going to go to referendum, so it's not really relevant as Now, what's the date they're suggesting? Because this one is already January 1st, 2021.
No, 10/21/2021. So October, so basically a year from now, the
Okay.
change is to make it, to implement it essentially 11 months from now.
Because I thought their recommendation was October 2020, but it's October 2021.
2021.
Correct. October 1, 2021.
Right.
Okay.
So,
Well, I would move that we recommend indefinite postponement with the justification that tonight's not the night to have the lengthy argument, the lengthy debate that this article really warrants.
I'll second that.
okay, any further discussion? Did you want to say anything, Peter?
Yes, before you vote. My understanding is that we need to vote either up or down according to how it's presented on the warrant, and that's a legal requirement. And we're ready to go. I sent out 2 emails to all the town meeting members, and all the comments I got back were favorable. The only unfavorable comment is in organized opposition. Their arguments are very repetitive, and we're prepared to have someone call the question to prevent it from becoming a 2-hour debate, because there's nothing to say in favor of it. And once 2 or 3 people talk, it's done.
Well, let me just say this. Go ahead, Peter.
I was just going to say, merits aside, I think it's important to address Peter's procedural point.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask Frank to weigh in on.
And that,
Can you just speak to that piece, Frank?
Mr. Hargraves, as the petitioner, can make the main motion.
Mhm.
He would make the motion to adopt as printed.
Mhm.
The selectmen
Actually,
could...
but
we'll have a substitute main motion with a new effective date.
Right. He's not the petitioner in this case.
He's representing the petitioner, Bob Clattenburg, as a member of FLIRT.
It's our
Yeah.
Falmouth litigation team.
So go ahead, Frank.
Right, so he would make the motion to approve with a new date. The selectmen could then make a motion for indefinite postponement if the town moderator would allow you to do so. But once he puts it on the floor, the debate's off and running.
Yeah.
And it's an amendment, so the board would have to make an amendment, how do you?
We don't have to. He will make the motion.
Mr.
They'll
Hargraves.
make the main motion.
David always
His
goes
main-
with the positive motion.
He's not going to amend anything, because his main motion is going to have the new date in it.
That's right.
Right.
This is why
Right.
I wanted to make the main motion, by the way, just to be transparent.
So we weren't going to make the main motion anyway, the petitioner was going to make the
Right.
motion.
I don't know that there's
Don't
anything.
go into blanket.
Right.
As
So,
written.
well, it's basically problematic.
How does the select board?
I actually withdraw my motion, because we're not going to be making the main motion.
I don't think we need to vote on
Either a
anything.
positive one or a negative one, David won't tolerate it, because he'll take a positive motion anytime over a negative motion.
So they, once it's.
So our negative motion won't be valid one way or the other, because the petitioners aren't motion anyway.
So Frank, we don't need to actually vote for anything.
No.
Well,
Nothing. Go ahead,
You
Peter.
can-
so I believe that the board took a vote with a different effective date.
Mhm.
Took a vote to make a recommendation. So truly, I suppose you don't have to.
Actually,
And you don't have to
the charter says-
speak to the article. But if the board wants to publicly state its position on the article, then it's appropriate for you to discuss it and
Mhm.
vote a recommendation now, because you never took a vote with an effective date of October 2021.
The charter-
So you don't have, you're right, you don't have to.
We actually do, the charter says we have to take a vote on every petitioner article.
That's right, you do. But that doesn't mean that you get to make the main motion.
Right. But we do have, now,
I
they
think-
already have a motion on this article. We don't know what the amendment is officially
Wait.
until it's made.
Yeah, I mean, you do have an email correspondence saying what the amendment will be.
Right.
So why don't we take a vote on the amendment,
No.
right?
Well, okay, just our position on the amendment, right, which is to change the date. And then when it comes from the floor, then we'll say we want to amend the motion to change the date to October.
Yeah, I guess you would be reconsidering your recommendation based on the new
Right.
effective date.
Right,
Yeah, okay.
okay. So, based on the date of the 10/1/21, okay? We just need to vote, yes, go ahead.
That's question, because in the explanation on the article,
Mm-hmm.
it says, and this is in the explanation, the board will offer an amendment from floor to change the effective date, to allow businesses more time to prepare and change, and allow time to appeal the Chelsea ban, displayed through the ABCC, and the potential court challenges. And the expiration of those challenges hasn't expired. And
Yes, it has, it's all done.
Chelsea's done.
It's Chelsea's
That's
done.
because this was done way back in
I
in the
think I
spring.
saw an email from Frank on that all you selectmen got last Thursday.
It can still be appealed to court.
I think,
He is incorrect.
60 days has expired. They can't appeal to court, and they're not appealing to court. I've talked to the attorneys in Chelsea. So don't spread false
Well,
information.
I thought that it
you
had
guys
been-
can, we're not gonna have the debate here. You guys can have the debate out.
No, I'm referring to Frank.
Yeah. but
email to you.
The reason why the explanation says what it says is because it was drafted, 6 months ago, or however many months ago, 5 months ago, before, because this was originally for the April town meeting. And so this warrant is the same as it was back then, because we haven't meant to change it. Go ahead, Frank.
it almost doesn't matter what Chelsea does,
Yeah.
because Chelsea's not subject to Attorney General review. They're a city.
Yes.
We're a town.
Oh.
We adopt a bylaw, it has to go for the Attorney General. The Attorney General passes it, we're off and running. If the Attorney General denies it or disapproves it, we're dead. So.
It's a
we don't
different
raise-
process. It's a different process.
Different process.
All right.
We've talked about that. So this board, what we need to do now, and I'm being cognizant of the time, is to vote based on the new timeline. Okay?
To vote a recommendation.
Vote a recommendation. So does anyone have a recommendation based on the new timeline?
I would vote a support of the recommendation with the new date of October 10th, October 1st, 2021.
Second.
Okay? Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor by roll call. Patterson?
Patterson, aye.
And this is for a positive motion?
Yes. Jones?
Jones, aye.
Brown?
I'm going to still vote no.
Okay. Taylor? Aye. English Braga, aye. Okay. And you guys will have the debate, this will put the debate in front of town meeting, which is where the debate
Thank you.
is supposed to be, okay?
And I guess that means that they'll make the main motion, at which point you should let David know that we want to say that the board of selectmen, as required by charter,
Voted it with the new date.
voted to support the new recommendation.
Mhm.
With a new motion, sorry.
It's really an amendment, isn't it?
To substitute main
Because
motion.
it's the main motion.
Oh, if it's, okay, all right.
Okay? It's 10 of 7, so I think we also need to address the issue of the next,
Here also?
No, we already did. 2020 is crazy.
Because we usually do it in April.
Did we vote that?
Oh, my
It was
goodness.
exactly my
I
first
thought we
reaction
already
too.
set that one up.
So November 16th.
Well, we did in town, we voted it in our meetings.
Yeah.
Correct.
We haven't done it.
You haven't announced it
I,
yet.
oh, announcement.
So we just need to announce it.
That's all. Yeah, okay.
Okay?
What's the location? Same one?
For now, same location,
Fieldhouse.
Field House.
Okay.
Okay, anything else? I don't think so.
That's all.
Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay, second?
Thank
Okay,
you.
all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you.